Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome to a massive video. Today I'll be going through the top 20 add-ons from 2020 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I know it's not over yet, but let's be honest, we're not going to get many big freeware add-ons in the next few days, so I might as well do this now. Stay tuned. Hello YouTube, I'm Pilot Stud and welcome back to another video. Now today I'll be going through the top 20 overall add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. These will be ranked in my personal preference today, and because there are some great ones that I couldn't miss out, a lot of these have featured in my other videos before, but this is one video where they're all together and you need to download all of these right now. They're available to download in the description. If you're new here, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. I do videos like this all the time, and be sure to hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos in the future. But now let's get into our first add-on. Now coming into number 20 is Asiago Airport here on the borders of the Alps. And you guys know I love alpine airports, but it's not a big airport. That's why it is top 20 today, but it's got a great attention to detail. This developer features in my videos a lot because he does a superb job. Swapping over to clear skies just to show you some more detail, it does look very nice. Not only is it a very beautiful picturesque location, but it's got quite a long runway, making it suitable for all general aviation aircraft in the sim. You can see we've got some vintage aircraft here which I like very much, and of course the handcrafted airport building. But now let's move on to number 19. So there was number 20, and a good start I think. Now number 19 is London Southend Airport, one of London's many airports. And as this mod develops, I can see it moving down the list closer to number 1, because it is amazing and I can see it turning out a bit like the Gatwick mod. Now of course London Southend Airport is not as big as Gatwick, and therefore probably won't be as good as the Gatwick mod because there's only so much detail you can add. However, so far the developer has done an amazing job. Now I'm sure if you've used London Southend Airport before, you'll see there's plenty of custom buildings to go around. From the train station, to the control tower, to of course the main terminal building. I don't want to keep you long on every single add-on, but I'm just saying this is an absolutely fantastic bit of scenery. Although it's in very early stages and still being worked on, which is why it isn't lower than it is. I highly recommend this one if you love doing some low cost flying in EasyJet A320s. But now let's move on to number 18. Okay, so I've talked about this one before, and here's some footage from me using it earlier, but Love VFR is a fantastic add-on that adds basically some VFR VRPs or visual referencing points to Microsoft Flight Simulator throughout Europe and in parts of Africa. Now this add-on is in early stages, which is why it's number 18, and all it basically does is add antennae, masts, whatever you like to call them, all around Europe and North Africa. Perfect if you're doing any VFR flying, because if you're on VATSIM especially, you might need to report a VRP, visual referencing point. In the default game they were quite sparse. I'm not too sure if we had any thinking about it, but this add-on adds them and it's very helpful. Highly recommend it if you do some VFR flying, but of course if you don't, then I don't recommend it because you don't need it. Let's move on to number 17. Now this airport is absolutely amazing, located in the beautiful United States of America. Grand Canyon National Park Airport is a must-have for anyone that loves to fly over this part of the United States of America. I guess from the name you guys can probably work out from where it's near. You can see the Grand Canyon just over there. My goodness, that's impressive. Microsoft Flight Simulator is truly awe-inspiring sometimes, and this is certainly a moment for that. Now this airport has got a fabulously long runway and as many stands as you can imagine. For a general aviation aircraft, it is pretty big, and I imagine that's because it's so popular because of, well, its location, absolutely breathtaking. Attention to detail is exquisite, and it would be lower down in the list if there wasn't so many other brilliant add-ons. But now let's move on to number 16. Now what remains one of my favourite add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator of all time is the Lisbon Citypack. You guys can probably work out what I mean by that. Basically adds loads, and I mean loads of landmarks to Lisbon. Lisbon of course being the capital city of Portugal. Now this is up here in the list not because it's bad, but because in the future I imagine this won't be needed anymore. I might be wrong here, but I predict in the future Portugal will be worked on, or at least Lisbon as a city, by the Oslo team, and therefore this add-on won't be needed. However, I could be wrong, and therefore get this add-on right now. It adds plenty of landmarks, points of interest, statues and more to Lisbon, and their airport isn't too far away from the city either. You can see it at the back. Now I've forgotten the name of this bridge, but I know it's very famous. Going up the kind of central road of Lisbon, I'm not too sure what it's called. It looks a bit like the Mall here in the UK, but you can see we've got a beautiful photogrammetry statue, as well as some very interesting office blocks to the left of us. So we're almost a quarter of the way through our add-ons. What's been your favourite so far? I'd love to hear it in the comments down below. Okay, so number 15 is a simple but incredibly beautiful add-on. I apologise for the mirrored Virgin Atlantic writing on the aircraft. That's the liveries for you. Anyway, the add-on is Enhanced Ground Services, and you can guess it replaces the default ground services with better looking ones. Now we're actually here in New Zealand at the moment, so we can move on to our next add-on, but you've got to remember that these textures are European, so it may decrease the realism in some areas, although if you guys look around, you can normally find regional variants in different add-ons. You can see here we've got the beautiful Lufthansa logo on the pushback truck, and TLD green as the GPU. Quite cool, I have to admit. It's beautiful 747. I mean, that is a pretty picture right there. Now, as you can see, it replaces all of the ground service vehicles, from fuel trucks, fire trucks, and even the buses. There's an EasyJet bus, although I'm yet to spot that one yet. Even the little airport vans have been replaced by Lufthansa Technik, one of my favourites in this list, even though it's not too low down. I really like it, but I can understand that some people might be a bit annoyed because it doesn't suit all regions. That's why it's not any lower. But now, let's move on to number 14. Oh my goodness guys, is this even on planet Earth? I mean, this is truly an absolute paradise. Welcome to Milford Sound Airport here in New Zealand. This small airfield is located on the South Island of New Zealand. It's beautiful. Now, there's not too much here, but it is truly beautiful, and what there is here is highly detailed. Now, I've got to admit, I'd be scared of flying around here. These mountains are steep. Now, I believe I've seen an airport from this developer before, and they always do an amazing job. You can see we've got the helicopter park here, some satellite dishes, and of course the main general aviation parking area, and this beautiful lake located right in between loads of mountains. How amazing does this look, guys? Got some waterfalls over there, it would appear, unless that's a river and they've rendered it in wrong, but I'm not too sure. Now let's move on to number 13, which is a whole country overhaul. Welcome to beautiful Iceland, home of volcanoes no one can pronounce, breathtaking landscapes, and lots of ice. Now the Iceland Overhaul add-on, wait for it, overhauls the whole of Iceland, adding plenty of points of interest, more than I can show you in one video. We're flying over the capital city of Iceland right now, Reykjavik, and you can see they've added plenty of points of interest. From the famous cathedral, to the opera house, to the cargo ships sitting in the bay. They've also sorted out plenty of the mountains and added loads of points of interest outside of the cities. There's that DC-3 sitting somewhere, although I'm not too sure where it is. I'd be amazed if one of you could find it for me and send a picture of it to my Discord. That would be great. The Iceland Overhaul pack is simply perfect. Now, the next add-on was simply a game changer for me. It is the Cessna 152 community mod, or the Cessna 152X, whatever you like to call it. Now, this add-on is simple but effective. It makes the Cessna 152 a lot more realistic, a lot more true to life, by fixing a lot of problems regarding fuel consumption, flight model, the gauges sitting in front of me, and everything in between really. Of course, massively changing the performance speeds as well. I say massively, but it was probably only by a few knots, but that makes a big difference, I have to say. Now, I've flown the Cessna 152 in real life. It's a very sturdy, reliable aircraft, and this add-on makes the Microsoft Flight Simulator 152 a lot more realistic to fly. A must-have for any general aviation pilots that would like to fly this classic aeroplane. The Cessna 152 is probably my favourite general aviation aircraft because it is so forgiving, so fun to fly, and in real life you really get a feel for the aircraft. Now let's move on to number 11, and the next two are actual more applications, but you guys are going to love them. Now, a must-have for any serious flight simmer is SimToolkit Pro, and if you've had experience with any other flight simulators such as X-Plane 11, Flight Simulator X or P3D, you've probably used this one before. Now, it's an application very well built that connects to your simulator and records a bunch of metrics. You can see here we've got a live map with every user of SimToolkit Pro on. It integrates SimBrief flight planning, as you can see here. You can set up your own fleet. You can see my fleet here. I don't use it too much, primarily because I don't get a lot of time to do long flights. I did a Lanzarote one here, which was 5 hours long. Very fun flight. Also gives you very nice landing reports. It connects to your sim very easily. So if you want a landing rate monitor, this one is for you. Don't ask about that. That was basically a crash. That was a horrible landing. But we've got butter down there, so you can't complain. If you do any streaming on Twitch or YouTube, then it's also very good for that, because it makes an overlay for you that displays all of the needed metrics. You just copy the link and paste it into your streaming service. Very easy to use. Okay, so moving into our top 10, at number 10 we've got NeoFly. Now NeoFly lets you monetize your Microsoft Flight Simulator experience, obviously with in-game money, not actual money, and of course it's free like all the others. It's a beautifully built application that integrates very well with Microsoft Flight Simulator, allowing you to run your own airline or cargo business, do your own missions such as medical emergencies and dropping interesting packages off, buying aircraft, buying pilots, and a lot more. It works very well, although it does take a bit of getting used to, but I really do recommend it. Now let's move on to our 9th add-on. Welcome to Wellsbourne Airfield, an absolutely exquisite bit of freeware. The attention to detail is amazing, and I've actually taken a look at this airfield before, and I compared this to a real life photo, and it looked spot on. Now it's quite a big general aviation airfield in UK standards, with 2 runways, and it's perfect for anyone that loves doing VFR cross-country hops across the UK. I cannot recommend it enough. The developer has commented on one of my videos before saying that he's completely dedicated and committed to it, so you can expect fantastic updates in the future. A worthy contender for number 9. Flying into number 8, we've got the CRJ by the Aircraft Mega Pack. Now, this isn't any lower on my list because they have made it quite awkward to get it. If I'm being totally honest, I don't like the way they've done it, but they've put it on a Discord, so you have to join their Discord to download it. Originally, you could just download it from a website, and the problem with this is if you don't have Discord, if you're unable to use Discord, then unfortunately you can't get it. I don't agree with this, which is why it's not lower down in my list. However, aside from that, it is a fantastic flight simulator export. Put a livery on it and it looks absolutely perfect. We are waiting for the Aerosoft CRJ, and then of course this will become totally useless after that because the Aerosoft CRJ will blow it out of the water. We've got a cockpit, but it's just the Cessna Citation cockpit put in there, and the lighting is a bit funny. But if you want the CRJ in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you've got one. It flies very well, the flight model is pretty good, I feel anyway, so they've done a good job of that. Beautiful, it looks really nice in a livery, especially its Delta livery, and kind of fits in, I have to admit. They've done a pretty solid job. Okay, so I apologise with this one. It appears this airport isn't working with the recent patch. However, I'll share some screenshots on the screen instead. Now, this before the recent patch was an amazing bit of freeware, and hopefully once it's fixed, you guys can download it and use it at your will then. Oslo International Airport, located of course in Norway, was absolutely fantastic. They sorted out all of the taxiways and really made this airport look good. Adding custom buildings all around as well as some new props, it really looked very good. Sadly, we can't show it off, but that's just the way the sim works sometimes. Now let's move on to number 6. Microsoft Flight Simulator Add-Ons Linker. So I know with me, my SSD filled up quickly with add-ons, so I had to migrate them all to my hard drive. And all this does is add a link from your custom-made add-on file to your community file in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Works very well, very easy to do. All you need to do is check the add-on you'd like to install, and it connects up straight away. Don't run it when Microsoft Flight Simulator is running, otherwise it won't work. And also run it in administrator mode, it just seems to work better. Saves a lot of space if you want to save space on your SSD, or if not, you'd like to move your add-ons to your hard drive, then this is the application for you. Highly recommend it, that's why it's closer to number 1 in this list. Now let's move on to number 6. Okay, so another must-have application is Pushback Helper. Kind of gives it away in the name what it does, but it's a pushback tool that allows you to push your aircraft back in a more efficient way, allowing you to line up your aircraft in a way you'd want. As you can see, you can also connect the jetway and request fuel. The pushback tug spawns in, and as soon as you release your parking brakes, you'll start to push back. Not too sure why the tug isn't connecting, but that just must be because we're in a CRJ. And you can see we've got full control over pushback. There's no delay like there is when speaking to ATC, which is very nice. It allows you to line up. Once right in the cockpit, you might not have as good of a view, so I recommend being an external view. However, it works very well, a highly recommended add-on. We're now in our top 5, let's see what we've got in there. Now, moving into number 3, we've got a fantastic little application called AirTool. Now, AirTool I've been keeping a close eye on because I see great potential with it, and it appears the owner Luke is making great progress with it. Initially, it started out with just custom announcements for certain airlines. As you can hear, we've got the British Airways one, which I love.
Ladies and gentlemen,
seatbelt on.
Captain has switched on the seatbelt sign.
Sounds a bit robotic. And you can see we just get all of the custom audio for all the different airlines. Some more than others, some better than others, just because of the way he's been able to collect the audio. Obviously, in this time, it hasn't been the easiest to get on a plane. However, what I love about this is where it could be going. We've got Pack Sim as well, which I haven't tried up too much. However, from what I can tell, is that you can it's a bit like Sim Toolkit Pro. You set up your own flight with your own airline, only you get the bonus of it automatically playing certain announcements at a different altitude. And I should say there's quite a few bugs in here. It's not perfect yet. This is kind of the developer mode, so keep an eye out for Pack Simulator. But the announcements is where it's really at, especially if you've got a dual monitor setup. AirTool is going to really help you out. You can have your flight simulator on one monitor and then utilities like AirTool on one side, so you can do custom announcements throughout the flight, really adding to the experience. It's in number 3, maybe it shouldn't be, but I think it's amazing and it deserves to be in number 3 just because of its amazing potential, and at the moment it's still a pretty amazing add-on. Now let's move on to our final 2. Now the best airport in this list, i.e. highest ranking, is Gatwick Airport, coming in at a cool number 3. Absolutely superb quality. I remember when this airport first came out, a few days after Microsoft Flight Simulator, or a few weeks after Microsoft Flight Simulator was released, and the developer has worked tirelessly sorting out almost every feature of this airport. It's still a work in progress, of course, but it's looking absolutely fantastic. From moving trains to the airport transport system, the remarkable air bridge that crosses the taxiways, to the Premier Inn, there is everything here. Sorting out the runways, taxiways, hangars and more, this is certainly a fantastic add-on. The developer seems to never stop updating this, and it really pays off. Really excited to see where this will go because I could really seeing it. I mean, it's already payware quality. Let's not lie to ourselves, it's absolutely amazing. The best freeware airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator is London Gatwick, in my opinion. Performance doesn't take a hit whatsoever, so I highly recommend it. The attention to detail, immaculate. The quality of the buildings, perfect. The developer is doing an amazing job. Keep it up. So we've made it. Final 2 now, guys. You guys have definitely heard of these, but they are must-haves, and of course the best add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is why they're so popular. I'd like to say a massive thank you to you for watching this far. It's been my longest video by a while, and it's taken me a while to make, so I hope you're really enjoying it so far. Let's do the last 2. Now, the Salty Simulation 747 mod is a must-have for any 747 pilots, adding a bunch of new systems into the 747-8. They've added a bunch of new systems to the FMC, making it a lot more realistic. They've sorted out some features of autopilot and added plenty of stuff regarding the ECAS system. They've sorted out plenty of stuff regarding weight and balance of the aircraft, centre of gravity, all that kind of jazz. That may seem minor, but at the end of the day, you put it all together and you get a closer to study level aircraft. They're working very well on it, so congratulations to them. I hope they keep up the great work. Now, you guys probably could have saw this one coming. I mean, it is the best add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator that every single person needs. The A320NX. A superb improvement on the default A320. Everyone needs it. If you haven't got it, download it now. It is absolutely a must-have. It improves almost every feature of the default A320, from the MCDU to the flight model, to avionics, to the IRS, everything in between, to the autopilot. Without it, I probably wouldn't be flying the A320 anymore. They've got a fantastic Discord allowing you to keep up to date with all the progress regarding it. It is absolutely a must-have. If you haven't got it, what are you doing? Go download it now. They've even got an installer that makes it a lot easier to handle, that drops it into the community file for you, so there's really no excuse not to have it. So there you go, guys. That wraps up the top 20 add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator overall that have been released in 2020. Let's see what 2021 can bring us. Do you think the A320NX is the best add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator? Do you think Gatwick is the best airport that you can get for free for Microsoft Flight Simulator? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. This video has taken a lot of time to make, so I'd really love some support down below. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe. It means a lot. That's probably enough add-on videos for me for a while. Let's be honest, there's not much I haven't covered. Thanks to all my captains as always. If you'd like to find out how to become a captain, go on to my Discord, it's all on there. Have a fantastic day, guys. Bye bye.